First half, a cagey opening gambit. The air was thick with anticipation. This was playoff, one of the Ligue 1 McDonald's 24/25 season. FC Metz hosted Stade de Reims. The stakes were incredibly high. Both teams knew this match could define their immediate futures. Survival in the top flight was the ultimate prize. The fans filled the Stade Saint-Symphorien. They created a vibrant, noisy backdrop. Every pass, every tackle echoed with importance. This was more than just a game, it was a battle for prestige and position. FC Metz started the game with a clear plan. Their manager opted for a strategy focused on wing play. They aimed to stretch the Reims defense. Metz hoped their aerial prowess would trouble the visitors. Early on they found some joy down the flanks. Stade de Reims, however, were well prepared. They set up to absorb pressure and strike on the counterattack. The first half saw a few clear-cut chances. It was a tactical battle. The game remained finely poised, waiting for a spark. Section 2. Tactical chess adjustments and midfield intensity. The second half often brings tactical shifts. This match was no exception. Both managers would have delivered stern team talks. Metz, playing at home, felt the pressure to be more proactive. Reims knew a draw away was a decent result, yet an away goal would be even better. The opening period of the second half hinted at changes. FC Metz made a significant tactical alteration. They switched their formation to a more attacking 3-5-2. This change aimed to achieve several things. It provided an extra body in central midfield. It also allowed for two strikers up front. Reims observed Metz's changes carefully. Their manager instructed his players to adapt their defensive responsibilities. This led to an intensified battle in midfield. The central areas became congested. Tackles flew in with greater frequency. Possession changed hands often. The game became a real scrap for control. Section 3. The second half unfolds. Reims draw first blood. The second half began with renewed vigor from both teams. The home crowd urged FC Metz forward. Metz pushed higher up the pitch. They tried to pin Reims back into their own half. However, Reims remained resolute in their defensive duties. They were content to soak up pressure. Then, against the run of play, Reims struck. It was a classic counter-attacking goal. Metz lost possession in midfield. Reims pounced on the loose ball. A quick, incisive pass cut through the Metz defense. Their striker, Ibrahim Sissoko, timed his run perfectly. He found himself one-on-one with the Metz goalkeeper. Sissoko kept his composure. He slotted the ball coolly into the bottom corner. The Reims bench erupted in celebration. Metz were visibly stunned by the goal. Conceding at home in such a crucial playoff match was a major setback. Metz had to respond, and quickly. The pressure on Metz intensified considerably. Section 4. Metz's offensive onslaught, a desperate push. Facing a deficit, FC Metz had no choice. They had to throw everything forward. The tactical tweak to a 3-5-2 was now fully committed to attack. Their wingbacks pushed high and wide. The central midfielders joined the attacks more frequently. Even one of their central defenders started to venture forward. It was a risky strategy. It left them vulnerable at the back. They needed an equalizer desperately. The game became stretched. Metz began to create more chances. Their desperation translated into increased pressure. Crosses rained into the Reims penalty area. One such effort from their captain forced a spectacular save. From the resulting corner, a Metz header struck the post. The home fans groaned in unison. Reims, to their credit, soaked up the relentless pressure. Their defenders were heroic. The atmosphere inside the Stade Saint-Symphorien was electric. Metz continued to push, driven on by their passionate supporters. Section 5. Controversy strikes, the penalty that wasn't. As the match entered its final stages, the tension reached fever pitch. Metz continued their siege on the Reims goal. Reims defended with grit and determination. Every decision by the referee was scrutinized. Every challenge was fiercely contested. The stakes were incredibly high. A single goal could change the complexion of the playoff tie. It was in this cauldron of pressure that a moment of major controversy occurred. The controversial moment arrived in the 88th minute. A Metz attacker dribbled into the Reims penalty area. He cut inside a defender. He then went down under a challenge. The Metz players and fans immediately appealed for a penalty. The referee was close to the action. He waved away the appeals. The video assistant referee, or VAR system, was in use. A check was initiated. The game paused. All eyes were on the referee. After a lengthy review, the VAR advised the referee to stick with his on-field decision. No penalty. The The Metz faithful were incensed. The controversial call became the main talking point. Section 6, Final Whistle. Reims edge ahead, Metz contemplate. The referee finally blew the whistle for full time. The scoreboard read FC Metz 0, Stade de Reims 1. The Reims players celebrated a hard-fought victory. They embraced each other. They knew the importance of this away win. It gave them a crucial advantage in the playoff tie. For Metz, it was a story of disappointment and frustration. Their players sank to their knees. The home crowd applauded their efforts but shared their sorrow. A key takeaway from the match was Reims' clinical efficiency. They had fewer chances than Metz, but they took their opportunity when it arrived. Defensively, Reims were outstanding. They were organized, disciplined, and resilient. For FC Metz, there will be much to contemplate. They showed fighting spirit. They dominated possession for long periods. However, their finishing let them down. Metz face an uphill battle. The drama of the Ligue 1 McDonald's playoffs is far from over.